Hey guys, Karen9 here, and welcome back to my channel today. A couple days ago, Bungie streamed one of the strikes that will be located within the Taken King. It was called Shield Brothers. It was relatively short, like most strikes, but it showcased some awesome new things that are coming to the game. So in this video, I'd like to break down those things and kind of show you guys what's coming to the game. The first thing that I noticed is that we got a map of the Dreadnought. You can see the full thing on screen, and we can see that there are two strikes in a raid in this location. It was just a small thing that they threw in the beginning of the stream, but I still find it pretty cool that they would show us what the location is going to look like. The next thing that really stuck out were the new character classes and some of their abilities. Obviously, I can't showcase the entire new subclass because that would take like a 20-minute video. However, I picked out some highlights from each of the new subclasses. First, I will start with the Titan. It's got a new grenade called the Thermite Grenade, and it shoots a solar wall pretty much out of the grenade. It's not literally a wall, but a line, and it will damage anything standing in front of it. Also, we saw that the Titans actually aren't getting Blink. They're just got their regular lift perk. Hopefully sometime in the future for you Titan users will get Blink. I don't know. I don't find it that great, but a lot of people want it, so maybe you guys will get it soon. There's a new mechanic in the game that heavily applies to the Titan, and these are called sunspots. There are three main perks that allow you to utilize the sunspots. The first is called Scorched Earth. This allows the Titan to create sunspots where his Hammer of Soul lands during his super. The next one is called Thermal Vent. Melee kills will create sunspots where the enemy is standing. And finally, there's Firekeeper. While standing in a sunspot, this grants the Titan an overshield and allows his super to last longer. During the stream, Mr. Fruit showed a new awesome tactic, and that was he would pop his super, throw the hammer on the ground, immediately create one, so his super would last longer, stand in it, and he would just continue on with the super, killing things for longer and having an overshield. Next, the Titan has an awesome new perk for his melee ability. It's called Melting Point. And when you hit an enemy with your solar melee, you cause them to take damage from yourself, extra damage from yourself and your allies. This will prove to be useful in many boss fights. So if you hit them, then you know your teammates say do 2 times damage. That's an estimate. It'll probably be somewhere around 1.3, 1.5, so it's not too overpowered, but they will take more damage. The next awesome perk that the Titans have are called the Flame Seeker. And this gives you a hammer tracking ability, so that when you throw your Hammer of Soul, it will actually kind of curve and hit enemies. I'm sure it won't be anything super overpowered, but it will probably make a substantial difference. And the final cool perk for the SUNBREAKER Titan is called Simmering Flames. And while your super is full, your grenades and melee charges recharge at a faster rate. This is interesting as it allows to benefit from holding your super longer rather than using it right away, because most people, when they get their super, they use it so they can start earning towards their next one. However, with this, it'll kind of give you benefits for holding on to your super, so you'll have to choose. And that's going to be the end of the Titan. Next, we're going to look at the NIGHTSTALKER subclass for the Hunter. They were given Void Wall grenades that shoot in a single direction, kind of like the Titan's Thermite grenades, but with Void instead. They were also given a triple jump perk again, just like the Gunslinger. And that means quad jumps are back if, well, we can wear the Bones of Eo no matter what. Hopefully there's Tier 2 Bones of Eo. Those are super helpful. But, yeah, and they have their melee charge isn't a melee at all. It's a smoke grenade that disorients enemies and allows for stealthier gameplay. You can use a perk called Vanished in Smoke that allows you and your teammates to go invisible while near the smoke. Their super ability will prove to be pretty devastating, a lot more than I originally thought so. With their Bloodhound perk, tethered enemies will take all damage when only one single person takes damage. So if you shoot and tether 3 people together and you shoot one, then they all take that damage, which is really nice because it allows you and your teammates to take out these foes quicker. In addition, the Courage of the Pack skill grants increased recovery and armor to you and nearby enemies when killing these tethered foes. And with the Quiver perk, you are given 3 arrows instead of 1, so you can run around and get multiple groups of people so you don't have to use your super just on 1 arrow. I feel that this will be mainly useful in PvP to tie up multiple groups of enemies, since they tend to stand further away from each other in PvP, or PvE even. The final 2 perks are very interesting and allow for more diverse gameplay. The first, Shade Step, allows you to perform a dodge of some sort. It wasn't shown in the gameplay, however the commentators made it seem like it was a rolling animation to the side. But like I said, it was not shown in the strike, so I can't exactly tell you what it is. The second perk allows for you to sneak and sprint quicker. This will really complement the fact that Hunters are supposed to have the most agility out of all the Guardians anyways. And so now that you can sneak and sprint quicker, it'll allow for better gameplay. In addition, it marks the enemies that you do damage to, kind of like the Fang of Uriut can. I'm guessing that's how it's going to be. They just have a little thing of fire or something coming up above them, so enemies know that they're damaged. And that's going to wrap up the Voidwalker highlights. Now let's move on to the Stormcaller subclass for the Warlock. First, it was given a Storm Grenade that literally seems to spawn a mini storm of lightning where it lands. The Stormcallers also do not have a blink, they just have the regular glide perk. However, they are given a perk that allows a blink like teleport while using their super. This will make an already devastating super more difficult to take out. Their melee is called Thunderstrike, and it says that has an extended range. So I know a lot of people complain because Warlock's ranges are already more range, and they seem to be embracing this at Bungie. And in addition to this range, a perk called Amplitude adds even more range than melee. And I really hope that this was tested thoroughly in the developing stages, because I feel like this mechanic has the most potential for the most overpoweredness out of any of these three subclasses. The Warlock's perk called Transcendence makes it so that if you activate your super while you have full grenade and melee charge, you regain full health and get a longer super use. And I don't know if that actually takes away your grenade and melee charge. It doesn't say. It would make sense that it does, but it might not. And the final perk highlight is on a perk called Electrostatic Mind. This makes your super charge faster while you are around allies, and it also damages nearby enemies while your super is active, so you don't actually have to hit them directly. You just do passive damage to them. All of these perks that put together make it seem like the Stormcaller subclass will be the most dangerous of the three new subclasses. However, without exact statistics about damage and such, we're going to have to wait to the release to actually know this for sure. Just like the subclasses that are already in the game, it really depends on the player. Sure, like the Solar Warlock can do DPS and it's unpredictable and stuff, but in the right hands, any Guardian's good. So a combination of we don't know the statistics and we don't know what each other's playstyles like to know which class is overpowered. Each class had their own relic that was showcased that allowed them to generate orbs when getting a kill with their melee charge. It had to do with the element of their melee charge. So we saw one for Void, Solar, and Arc. So you can use either, the relic based on which subclass you're using. In the character screen, we also got to see new armor perks and talents. We got to see a perk that carries more sidearm, which allows the player to carry more sidearm ammo, which confirms that sidearms will indeed have a more prevalent role in the Taken King expansion. Second, we get to see a perk that has the chance to return part of your weapon's magazine after getting an assist. And the final new talent that I noticed granted increased Crucible reputation gains. If we can get perks like this for all the factions, they would be very helpful for quickly gaining reputation for the different factions, and thus helping us get faction-specific rewards quicker. One more thing that they showed us during the stream was the new sword-type heavy weapon in action. We get to see the character model swinging. I did my best to get a screenshot of this. Of course, I'm not allowed to actually show the stream because that's copyright, but I can get screenshots of it, and obviously you can't get the animation in the screenshot, but I tried my best to kind of show what it looked like. And we also get to see a player block with the sword. The sword actually seemed to be really effective at blocking. He was barely taking any damage at all. The enemies were lower levels than them, but it should have been doing more damage than it was doing, so it was really interesting. That's really going to wrap up the kind of character screens, and the final things that the stream showed us were the changes to the environment designs and the game mechanics. First, I would like to show 3 screenshots in the new environment. I really did find these scenes amazing, and I really appreciate the work that the developers and design teams put into the new environments. I feel like some of the companies that produce video games forget that level design is a huge part of playability factor, and it's really nice to see that Bungie cares a lot about level design. That's one of the things I look for most in the game is a pretty level or an amazing, like Skyrim did a really good job, but there's some games that just don't really care about design, they care more about game mechanics, and it needs to be a combination of the two, and Bungie seems to get that, which is nice. Next on in the stream, we saw 2 traps during this stream. One was a grenade that bounced up from the floor and had a large area of effect explosion, and next we got to see a fire trap that activated when the Guardians walked over it. They didn't seem to hurt very much, but features like this will help levels that we play seem more exciting, and I personally am really eager to see what other traps that they come up with. We also got to see that Scions use solar damage instead of their usual arc. This opens up the possibility for other enemies to change up their damage type, and this would add more diversity to the different enemy groups, but it would make it harder for us to predict what element they are going to be. And finally, we got to see some new boss mechanics. In this fight, we got to see that we got to fight one boss, and then he went away, and then we fought the other one, and then they both came back, and we fought them both at the same time. And I really like adding stuff like that because it adds replayability factors to the different strikes and doesn't make them seem like bullet sponges. Also, both the bosses were given extremely unique looks and had their own mechanics. The red boss created sunspots that caused additional player damage, and on the other hand, the blue boss would create a Titan-esque bubble that made the Guardians get within close quarters to damage it. However, it also did a bunch of damage when you were close to it, so it was a nice little trade-off there. Dees also said that strikes will have their own unique armor and weapons that look like trophies from the bosses that strike. This will add even more replayability to strikes and add more purpose for running them. And I really hope they go back and add these to the old strikes. Pretty unlikely they might not do it, but it would be a cool thing to see. And overall, I really enjoyed watching these new mechanics in the stream, and I guarantee I will love playing them even more. It is really nice to see Bungie putting in work to really change the pace of the different levels. Some are fast, some are slow, but never too much of either one. And I'm really excited for Taken King. I hope you guys are too. That's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown of the stream and want to see more, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like rating on the video. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content and the videos that I'm putting out. Next, if you have any things that I miss on the stream, leave them in the comment section below so others can see what new awesome stuff we will be getting in the Taken King. Finally, subscribe for more Destiny content. See you guys in my next video.